Hello and welcome back to the port. I'm Mikawa Major, and this video is a what to expect in the upcoming Tier 6 premium ship USS Flint, an American light cruiser possibly coming to the game in the near future. Now, this is based off of what was showed in Friday's livestream, and also a little bit of looking at what she is like on the PC. Now, what I've tried to do as well is to remove any kind of benefits given from booster flags, commanders, inspirations and things like that from the stream, to basically give you the bare basics of what USS Flint is going to be like. From the stream, what I can work out is that he's used a fully upgraded Scott with Burn It Down XXL, Igniter, Fixated, Punch Through and Refill Station. And then I believe the inspirations are a fully upgraded Mikawa and Kuznetsov, so basically that's Concealment and Range. That's just based on the numbers that I was getting out at the end, and those two numbers are the ones that looked wrong to me. So I've amended them based on those inspirations. So, as always, this is all going to be in comparison to the fully upgraded tech tree ships, and basically without modules and things like that. So survivability of the Flint looks, you've got very low HP, which is something to bear in mind. You've got less than the Atlanta, which is probably not ideal. You have low armor, which is the same as the Atlanta, but then, like we've kind of covered before, the Atlanta class were really built as destroyer flotilla leaders rather than cruisers, therefore comparing to cruisers is a little bit cruel. There's no torpedo reduction, however that is quite common for the tier. Artillery wise, again we've got small caliber guns, which is something to bear in mind. Only 5-inch guns. Now you'll come with only 6 turrets rather than the 8 turrets that the Atlanta comes with, although one thing to note is that the Atlanta can only actually bring 7 of those turrets to bear, so it means you've only actually really got a reduction of 1 turret on your broadside. Now, when you take that into consideration, your DPM is obviously slightly lower because your shell characteristics are exactly the same as the Atlanta. So you've got the same HE damage, same AP damage, and the same fire chance, which is something to bear in mind. Now, it is believed that the range of the Flint will be slightly more than the Atlanta. Now that could be a reflection of the Flint being a later class of the Atlanta build, where they removed the 2 wing turrets in order to make room for fire control systems in order to improve anti-aircraft fire. So having a slightly improved range due to that is understandable, I guess you could say. I'm now going to go this way. And because you've lost that turret, you do have average fires per minute, so you kind of lost that kind of edge that you would have had with the Atlanta of being able to get a decent amount of fires per minute. Now the Flint is something different. She comes with torpedoes. You've got 2x4 torpedoes, so you've got 2 launchers. Each launcher has 4 torpedoes, so you've got 1 port, 1 starboard. Now these have very similar stats to the Atlanta. They have the same damage, they have the same reload, so that means you do have this quick reload and you have good damage. However, they are the slowest at the tier, but they do have the lowest detectability range. So that's quite a nice interesting thing, because they're slow, they've got short detectability, so they still come in quite nicely, and they've got quite a decent range, which is something to bear in mind. Now you've got a cruiser which plausibly you could tweak it to make it stealth torpedo or nearly stealth torpedo, a bit like with the British. Maneuverability is the same as the Atlanta, so you've got average speed, good turning circle and rudder shift. Concealment wise, again, is the same as the Atlanta, so it's reasonably good, but you've also got the best detectability range when firing from smoke, and considering one of the Flint's consumables is smokescreen, that is going to be quite a strong benefit really. So going on to the consumables, you will come with 2 smoke screens. It has each smoke screen has a 27-second duration, 121-second dispersion, and a 240-second reload. So that means you have quite a long duration. So you've got quite a reasonable time to lay your smoke screen, and you've also got quite a good dispersion as well. So you've got plenty of time to sit in your smoke screen. That's Nicholas, so I can't steal his smoke screen. Now, because of that, you've also got quite a decent amount of time to play in your smoke screen, and then also you're looking at less than 2 minutes between each smoke screen if you maximize how you use them. And you could obviously improve that as well with certain commander builds and stuff, but that's something to bear in mind. You got 2 smoke screens, go for a fully packed commander, you can get 3, and then you've only got to go for less than 2 minutes between each smoke screen, so you can use that to move from place to place. Now, she will come with 2 sonar as well, but these are pretty much the same as normal. So they got the 94-second duration, they pick up ships at 4.2 kilometers, pick up torpedoes at 2.9 kilometers. Okie dokie, okie dokie. And they have a 180-second reload. Now, one more thing to take into note is that you will have a Type 9 permanent camo, exactly the same as the Atlanta. And that means that you'll have the same as the Type 4 consumable camo, so that's minus 4.5% detectability and plus 4.5% incoming dispersion. Now, because she's a tier 6 cruiser, I'm expecting her to cost between 12,500 doubloons and 15,000 doubloons. It's hard to say which one she's going to be, because the Exeter came in at quite a reasonable cost. We are going to go for AP here, and I'm going to try and stay nose on and use what limited armor I have to get in close for a torpedo run and get my wing turret round. Mostly overpen, so I'm going to see what I get with this body. Mostly overpen, so I'm going to switch to HE. Yeah, HE's got 4 penetrating hits with HE, which is quite good. He's slowed down with the anticipation that I have used torpedoes. I am going to switch to the other wing turret. Actually, I might not even need to use my torpedoes. There we go. So, will she be 12,500 or will she be 15,000? I'd be tempted to say that maybe Wargaming might go for the 15,000. Yeah, I'd be tempted to say that she's going to come in at 15,000. However, if she comes in at 12,500, then all's good. And then, when will she be released? Well, it's a 5-week update. We're in week 1. We're going to be entering week 2 soon. I don't think they're going to do a drop in week 2. I suspect if they're going to do a drop week 2, it'll probably be the Destroyer. Then we've got week 3. And week 3 is when I'd expect them to drop the Destroyer. That'll be my bet. So if they're going to drop the Destroyer week 3, they don't usually like to drop things in week 5. So I'd expect the USS Flint to drop in week 4. Now week 4 will start on the 13th of July, so that's going to be, if I had to hedge my bets, that's when it's going to be. However, take that with a pinch of salt. I don't know anything, that's just me putting my finger in the air, making my best guess based off of what has previously gone on with the drops and stuff like that. Well, that's the USS Flint. She seems like a very, very interesting cruiser. She's almost like what I wanted the Atlanta to be. The only downside, I guess you could say, is you don't have the radar. It would have been nice to have smoke and radar, but then again, that's what HMS Belfast is for, really, isn't she? So if you want that, you want HMS Belfast. I think I will be getting the USS Flint this patch. So the chances is that I will be getting that one, and she will be reviewed on the channel. Just bear in mind, as always, that the review won't come out straight away with the ship. I like to give the ship a good play test through before I do it. Usually I like to give myself an evening to play it through, and then I like to record the review the following evening while I'm still playing, like finalizing the playthrough as well. I usually like to get a decent amount of XP on the ship as well, so don't expect me to spaff out a review straight away. Well, that was an amusing game in the Atlanta. Only 24,000 damage, but then wasn't really much opportunities. It was almost just mopping up the Dallas, really. Couldn't really get in on anything. Came, what's that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 on the team. I guess it's a nice way to prove that I'm not super immense at this game all the time, which I think is quite nice to show, actually. Well, that's what to expect with USS Flint. If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up. If you enjoy this kind of content, feel free to subscribe, and if you are already one of the subscribers, then thank you very much, guys. If you have any of your own gameplays, you can submit them for commentary. Our email address is in the description below. I've been the Gareth Major, and back to the port.